What happened between Chase and I? I've also been stalked by people I know. Am I left? Am I right? Where do I lean? I don't know. It's just, okay, so, so how do I say this? Eating ground beef with Tillamook single serving slice of cheese melted on top of it is so good, but this is like literally all we have in our fridge. We have nothing. It's like one of those times where you just try to like makeshift your own food, but then it ends up being like so good. I'm also using photo booth on my laptop to put my makeup on / my camera. Look, I took these really cute pictures of Bubba. Look how cute. For some reason I take the best photos with this app. He's such a goofball. I've got a few things I want to do and accomplish in this vlog. First of all, I asked you guys on my Instagram, and I saw this trend going around, ask your followers to ask you questions that you usually avoid. So I'd love to possibly go down that route in this vlog. That'd be fun. I need to get my nails done. I'm like pushing off and pushing off. I broke 2 of my nails and then the rest are just completely outgrown, like so bad. Bobby had his first day of preschool today. Like he's officially a preschooler. We have a preschooler. What? So we both dropped him off this morning and I just realized Xander finished my coffee. It was right here. He came home for lunch and totally finished my coffee. That's annoying. Yep, in the trash. There's this place in Tampa called Caffeine. Hands down best coffee we've had. They do homemade syrups. I get the coconut cream cold brew. You guys, when I tell you, it is the best coffee I've ever had. It's like an $8 coffee though. It's brutal, but we don't have groceries, so excuse, right? And then I'm debating whether or not to start degrading our apartment. We don't have a place to live yet still. We don't know where we're going. We're cutting it close, I will say, but we want to make sure we're not making a wrong move. I took down all the blinds in this apartment. Like we had those horizontal blinds in every room. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 14, 15 windows. And I'm like, is it worth the deposit to put them back up? Should I hire like a TaskRabbit to do it? But you know, I have quite a bit of time, and if I do 1 a day or just do a couple a day, it'll be good. And then we have our back bedroom painted like this really deep dark navy. I feel like I can get that done in a weekend. And then if we just like really deep clean the apartment, we've got quite a bit of dog hair on the baseboards, but other than that, I think a deep clean of this apartment, like we can make it look pretty good. We haven't like really done anything. This apartment where we would not get our deposit back, I just talked myself into it. Like it's pretty easy. It'll just take a second. All the tasks you don't really want to do, but like you might as well just do it. It's not that big of a hassle. Yeah, maybe we can start doing that, or some sort of hacking at least, to feel like we're getting somewhere, because right now I'm just like a little anxious because I don't know where we're going. So that's always like a weird feeling. Yeah, excited to be moving to a little bit more of a vibrant area. This place did us really good, like the transition back from where we were. I think this place served its purpose. Yeah, we'll figure it out. I've always wanted to do this. I know that when you have ripe bananas, it's like perfect consistency for banana bread. So I'm like, we're doing banana bread. We should make that tonight.
Bit at peace by now. Yeah, you're lying in the shadows of my room. Oh, always heard your voice, I forget the sound now. You're awfully quiet while I cry out for you. Oh, I know you don't have much to say, yeah, that's clear now. But I won't keep on giving you grace while my heart's broken. But you take the time away to clear your head out. But I had so much to say, and you let me get away still. Well, I still cry, I won't lie, but you'll never know.
Hi, I just put Timmy down for his first nap of the day, so I thought I would do this fun little Q&A with you guys that I had asked you guys on my Instagram, answering questions I usually avoid. Also, got my nails done yesterday. I did the bubblegum chrome and they look so good. These 2 fingers broke. She cut them pretty short so they kind of like match so that they have time to grow out, but Look how pretty that is. I have so much masculine energy around me now that I've got 2 boys, and Xander and Arya, even though she's a lady, she's definitely more of a masculine energy kind of dog, that I like crave pink and like bows and like femininity. My deep core feminine energy is gonna come through in this next apartment. You guys just freaking wait. I have a ton of stuff like in my Amazon cart, and I know the style that I'm gonna be doing is gonna be completely different than anything I've ever done, which I'm excited about. I feel like I've had different themes of my apartment depending on like where I am and like where I've moved, but just know this one's gonna have a lot of like airiness and light energy. Colors coming back, which I'm excited about. So yeah, I'm just kind of like planning behind the scenes, and I'm just waiting. I've got to be patient though, because it's gonna be a minute. I still don't have a place yet, so we'll figure it out. Anywho, a lot of you guys asked me what happened between Chase and I. So we actually did have a falling out. I did reconnect with him once I moved back home, and honestly, yeah, I don't think like, I don't know, it's just, okay, so, so how do I say this? We obviously got super close when I was single. He was single, and we moved to Tampa. We were like together all the time. He moved in with me. We had been friends since 7th grade. We were pretty close in 7th grade, and then we kind of like were in the same school, so we were close, but like we didn't hang out as much as we did in 7th grade. And then come senior year, we kind of had like a falling out with a couple of our other friends, and we kind of like drifted, but it wasn't like between us, it was more between like them, just like the route we were going. I was going in a direction that was not the best. He was like in school studying and like doing good things, and then I got my shit together. He kind of had a family move. We got back together around like pandemic times. Like we were always friends, but it's like been like we're either really close or we're kind of just like distant, like long-term friends that connect every once in a blue moon. But during COVID, we talked a lot. We both kind of went through our own little bouts of stuff during that year. And then he ended up getting divorced, came out, like kind of lived his single era. I had broken up with my ex of like 10 years, had my little single era, and we kind of were like single together. We just like really bonded over that, and we were in that headspace. And then I got pregnant pretty quickly with Xander and kind of went into just like wifey mode, and I'm pregnant now, and it just like shifted a little bit. And then obviously with all the struggles with Bryson, I was in the hospital a lot, but he was still meeting me at like our relationship and where it was, yet I was sitting there in the hospital like just not doing the best, like honestly thinking my kid was gonna die. My world like completely shut down. If you've ever been through something super traumatic, like you just don't really have the time or energy for anyone. You're just like not the best version of yourself. Like I couldn't be the best mom, I guess I wasn't a mom at the time, the best partner, the best daughter, the best friend. Like I just was in my own little world, and my world kind of like was like shut down. We were meeting each other at like 2 different places in life, and I completely shut him out. Like it's like I don't really have time to deal with this. It's hard because I understand where I was in that headspace, but he just was like still in that kind of like dating world and all of that. And so I just didn't meet him at that level, and I couldn't meet him as a friend. And then we kind of tried to get back together once I had Bryson. Like we weren't like mad at each other by any means. I just wasn't like receptive and open to like contributing to that friendship at the time because I was dealing with so much internally and like at home. We didn't have a falling out. I just kind of like pushed back a little bit, and we kind of became a little bit more distant. He kind of went and did his own thing. Where did we fall? Like we actually like fell out. Oh, because I moved, and honestly, now that I think about it, I remember having a phone call conversation with him, and it did not go well, and we like hung up, and we didn't talk for like I think a year. I was trying to think about like what was that conversation. Oh, okay. I think when you put anything in the mix and it's like you're getting a story that you're not getting from the main source, if you could put it that way. I don't know how to describe it, but we had like a miscommunication, I would say, that came from an external source, if that makes sense. God, I'm gonna get in trouble. I just stopped, but then we got together again. We kind of like figured it out. I apologized for not being like the best friend at that time in my life, and obviously I just wasn't like in the right headspace or capacity to like be any role in that mindset. Even the year after Bryson was born, like I had extreme postpartum anxiety, and then just like having him grow up and seeing like how he's going to develop, and like I just was like described it as debilitating. Like I just was not myself at all, and like I wouldn't leave the house. Like I just wasn't the best person at the time. Yeah, I think it was just like a miscommunication, little like annoyances with each other, but they were coming from another source instead of like us just talking to one another. And when he did talk to me, I was just not receptive because I was like, I don't really want to deal with, like, I don't have time to deal with this. I have bigger problems, which is not like the nicest thing to say. But at the time, I just, like I said, I was not in the headspace to be that person. And yeah, we just had like a little falling out, after a year. Got back together and like talked it through and kind of clarified a lot of the miscommunication. And yeah, I think at first it was kind of like, oh, like it was a good conversation, but like the more and more we hang out, the more I feel like he's my brother again. You know, like he's been a part of my life for so long. He's such a good human being. I'm in a better headspace. I've done a lot of like internal work, and I don't know, it's like when you go to somebody, like a friend that you have who's like going through something really tough that you can't relate to, or if they're depressed or something, like it's hard to meet them, especially when you are in a place where you hold the relationship in a different standard, like pre all the craziness. So it was just like difficult all around. Yeah, that was a really dark time in my life. So that's what happened, and we're all best friends now. We're all good, and he's the best friend that I ever had, and I love him so much. So Chase, if you're watching this and I said something wrong, I apologize. I love you so much. A lot of people are asking about my spirituality, religious beliefs. Oh yeah. Ow. Can you tell I'm nervous? Oh my God. Okay, so I dove a lot into my, I would say like spirituality. I always want to label it as spirituality because I don't really believe in religion, even though I was geared more towards Christianity this past few years of my life. I've never like been one to label, get a little bit obsessive, okay? And so when I went into that world, I became a little extreme with it to the point where it wasn't really healthy for me. And I've seen a lot of bad in that world. Like I just don't align with labeling myself, especially when there's like a group of people sectored under it. Like that really freaks me out because it's like, oh, if I label myself as this, I'm like them, and like I'm like identifying with them. I don't know, I had a lot of Christian people kind of do me dirty. I don't know, I just feel like there's a lot of hypocrisy in that world. As long as you're a good, genuine human and you have your sort of beliefs that make you a better person and you're kind to people, like to each their own. I don't like the idea of having to take someone and morph their beliefs into what you believe. I just think it's all theory, and I think there's a lot of good in it. Like I've read a lot of different religious texts. I've read a lot of like spirituality books. A lot of them have the same common themes, core message. It's just how it's defined. That's what people fight over. It's like these small little differences, and it just, I don't know. I just think like spirituality is like a really personal thing, and it goes in waves, and whatever works for you in the moment, that's what it is. And right now I'm really just trying to focus on like my mindset and my internal dialogue. I don't know, I just felt like the world was out to get me when I kind of went into that world. I started thinking that there was like this man in the sky like dooming me, and I had to perform or be a certain person in order to like get good things, and I would like compare myself to other people, and it was not good for my mindset. I think I was thinking a little too much about it, and so I kind of took a step back, and I feel happier than ever. I feel like I've had moments that I can actually share in future vlogs if you want, my bouts with God that I literally, like, you can't explain it, and I usually meet him in those moments like really in dark times. Like if I pray, it's more of like a gratitude thing, like I'm so thankful, thank you God, thank you Jesus, thank you for, you know, this boy and like health and this day and like the beauty of like life. Like I'm really being like grateful. Am I reading the Bible right now? No. Am I going to church right now? No. That's just really not where I'm at. Like I said, I think when I went down that route, it just was not good, and I've seen kind of like the bad, ugly side of that I can probably dive into a little bit more later, but I don't want this vlog to turn out to be like some religious rant. But yeah, to each their own. I mean, if you're a good person, that's awesome. I just personally in that world saw a lot of like hypocrisy and honestly evil. Have I ever been stalked by anyone from our YouTube community? Yes. I've also been stalked by people I know. So yeah, I have had somebody reach out to my apartment manager like back in 2019 and tell me that at the time my boyfriend was like gonna die, or like he was like better watch out. I had multiple people send me, I feel like I shouldn't even say this because I'm giving them like, they now know I know. Fuck. Yeah, like sent me weird videos. I knew somebody, speaking of, who moved to my area and would like sit outside of my freaking apartment building and eventually moved in. Like yeah, so yeah, there's some pretty fucked up people in the world. Have I ever had any work done to my face? Botox. I don't really talk about it too much because I don't like to like push it out there. I think once you like go down that route, especially for young women, it's hard to like unsee it. They say the first 3 operations like really do enhance you, but once you go past 3 operations, it's almost like you don't see yourself in the right way. Like you're just desensitized to your face, and then that's when things start looking really weird and you go like you do too much. I will never do filler. I think filler is something that like pushes your skin out, and then once it's gone, it like sinks back in. So I will do half the amount of Botox that they usually do. I always say I still want to move my eyebrows. Like I don't ever want to be super tight, but I do love it. I'll get it done probably every quarter, and it's just like my forehead, like in between my eyebrows and like on my eyes. I've done IPL treatments in the past, which I've been open about. I think I've done it twice. I would love to do it again. It's a laser, but it always makes my skin look so nice. It doesn't like change the look of my face at all. It just is like a more of like a facial, but a kind of really deep facial. But that's it. I haven't even had braces. Like I've got like, if you can see, and I probably won't do anything else. I was thinking about doing possibly a lift with my boobs after breastfeeding, but they're honestly not that bad. A lot of people ask me about politics. Am I left? Am I right? Where do I lean? I've never been one to follow politics. Like I really hate it so much. It makes me so anxious because I feel like it's just people fighting. It's almost like the religion thing. Like you're trying to like make people believe your beliefs, but depending on where you are, who you are, where you live, you know, like how you grew up, that is going to shape who you are and your morals and your values, and everyone is going to have a different set of rules or laws that are going to benefit them in a certain way depending on their lifestyle and who they are and all that stuff. For me, it's like so much hate. I really don't even like being involved in it in any way. Like it makes me so upset. I really hate the times when it's like there's a president coming and they do the freaking debates, and it's just like so much social media. Like I tend to turn my phone off around that time because it's so overwhelming for me emotionally to deal with. I don't like it. Like I really hate it because it's just so much noise and a lot of like arguing and like people going against each other, and I just hate that. So I've never been one to follow politics. I think once you label, you're like gun-ho, and that's what people, they're like no matter what they're gonna vote this way, and they argue these points because it's like I am this person, and that is like, I don't know, kind of difficult to like get through to people when they're like that. I feel like if we didn't have parties and we all kind of just talked about problems and then you vote for the right one that you think is the best option, we'd all get along a little bit better. That's kind of like a easy route out of that question, but I'm honest, like that is what it is. Tell us more about the naked chef days. You guys saw a lot of it in the vlog. Xander would just come over all the time and cook for me, and yeah, he would cook for me. This is like TMI, but this is part of the questions like I'm avoiding. I'm like trying to go over all these questions, and the ones I'm skipping over, I'm like, I've got to answer that because that's literally the point of this Q&A. A lot of people are asking about sex life, like postpartum. For me, it's been the opposite because I was under pelvic rest during my pregnancy. So I was not doing anything. I just feel more myself now, put it that way. Like I'm having fun. Someone asked me if I'm afraid for the way that the world is turning out. No, if you had asked me this during like COVID times, I would be a little concerned. I think a lot of my world is online, which if you turn that off is not real life. Like you can get so overwhelmed and consumed with what's going on your like feeds and like social media platforms. When you turn it off, like people are genuinely like really nice. There's good people in the world. So I think that the hate and like conversations online have gotten a little bit more extreme, but I know that the people around me has gotten more sane. But there's like so much, you know, to be concerned about in this world, like the way our children are being raised, social media and how that's affecting our mindsets. I'm more concerned with like the lack of community in our world after the whole pandemic. Like I think everything now is just online. Like we buy our groceries and we do our own thing. I went to BurgerFi the other day and I had to like put in my numbers instead of like talking to the lady. And I'm just like, what's that gonna do to our children? They're not gonna be able to have a conversation. I don't know, it's just a very isolating world right now. And so that's a little concerning to me because I want a world that I can like talk to people and like have a community. So I'm just making sure that I'm doing my part to like, if I want that lifestyle, to move forward and like make sure that I'm aligning with that for my family. It's up to you to like put your kids in those situations where they're gonna be able to socialize and like have community and all that stuff. That's like a huge thing of mine. There's climate. What else is like a hot topic of conversation right now? Healthcare. Oh yeah, that's really annoying. I've been a part of that. The specialty doctors and the NICU experience and the hospital visits and the miscarriages and the pregnancies. Like, yeah, I think that that's definitely a discussion that I think more people are talking about it, so I'm not scared about it, if that makes sense. Like, I think there's going to be change. I think the housing market and like how our generation's being able to afford even just living, like that's all shifting with AI now. The careers are all changing and shifting, but I don't get scared of those things. Like sometimes I get a little like, damn, that sucks, because you kind of have it figured out and then things go haywire and you're like, wow, this is like a whole new world. But I just look at it as like a game. Like you're going to the next level and you've got to learn and play with it. Like life is ever shifting and ever changing. You've got to roll with it. You can either sit there and be bummed and like complain about it and be left in the dust, or like change with it. And even if you know, like I said, had it figured out and you were living and coasting through life like pretty good, and then things kind of shake up, like you're just up leveling. Like every level is going to come with their challenges, but there's going to be so much growth within that. So we're always going to be living in a nostalgic time, like a back in the day time. We're always going to look back at a time period in our life and be like, oh, those were the good days before X, Y, and Z. But you're living in it right now, so like enjoy it. I have a lot of faith in humanity. I really do. I think that there's moments where it seems all consuming and very overwhelming, but it's always been like that. Like there's always going to be a topic of conversation and we're always going to want to improve as human beings. That's just life, you know, like I'm pretty okay. Okay, so I'm getting a lot of questions about like social media in general. Like, why do I never go to different brand events like other people? Why do I need constant change? Why am I moving? Why do I flop on life so much? I'm a very anxious person to begin with. And so when I'm like not preoccupied or doing something where I feel like I'm producing, yeah, I tend to get in my head a lot. If it's not like perfect, I have OCD, and a lot of people are like, oh, stop using that word so freely. Like I literally have OCD, and so I tend to get a little overwhelmed and stressed when things are a little overstimulating in the moment. And so I definitely think watching myself over the years, like that's definitely bubbled up at certain times and have gotten like a little out of hand, I will say. In terms of moving and shifting, like yes, that's a lot of career opportunity for me, but also I genuinely enjoy that. I grew up moving all the time. My mom moved apartments. She's gonna hate that I said this, but she moved apartments every year basically when I grew up, but I loved it. She always apologizes for it, but I always like got to like change my room and like play with the different layouts, and like that's kind of what stemmed my creation when it came to like decor and like, you know, working with the space. Like I genuinely love that so much. Over the years I've learned to accept that. I think people don't understand it, and so they get like, they kind of put their 2 cents on like me, and like they diagnosed me with like some disorder. But I genuinely love decor. I love moving, like even in my space, like rearranging. Like I love creating a vibe. Like it makes me so happy. It's a creative part of who I am. And then what was the other question? I don't go to brand events. I'm not part of an agency, so I work for myself. A lot of influencers have brands that come to them through agencies that they are signed to. I'm not signed to an agency. I don't have a manager or anything like that, and so I don't really know when brand events are coming. I'm sure there's like apps and like I could figure them out, but I have a family. This is what's important to me. I've always liked too people outside of this world. Like my friends are just very different than a lot of the people that I meet on social media. Yeah. Anywho, I'm gonna go spend time with this boy because he just woke up, and then Xander's gonna bring out some of the blinds. I'm gonna see if I can get one of the blinds up. By the time we move, they'll be up, but I need to also go find the paint for this room because it's blue, so we'll figure that out too. But yeah, that was fun. Alright, let's see if I did this. Did it like come crashing down? Oh, voila. What I didn't show you guys is that I actually put these up in Bryson's room first. Did the whole shebang up here. These didn't fit, and then I was like, oh, it has to be these 2 smaller windows in the kitchen right there. Put them up, they were still too small, and I was like, what the heck? And then I'm like, oh, these are super narrow. I think it's these. So that took like 2 hours, way longer than what you guys saw, but they're up.